I told you before, we have our Tradisha Woodard and we have our photographer Benjamin Green, who are going to be en route. And last check we heard from our assignment desk that their ETA seemed to be around the 3:45 mark. So we'll just urge folks at the very least to keep us up here through that time, and as we mentioned, beyond, because no doubt we'll be getting updates as the evening goes on, and we'll be bringing these to you on Live Impact News here on WCNC+. Okay, so with that in mind, I don't know, Jeb, if you're able to, can you zoom out just a touch more while we're waiting?
Actually, I want to just refresh this.
I appreciate that.
And just so, yeah, it looks like, at least according to our friends at Google, this is about what we're seeing as far as the delay, which kind of makes sense. But as you know, this is going to just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And as you mentioned, I can see Megan pulling up the traffic map because it's not a major road.
Like
I'm
an
not sure we'll
interstate.
be able to get those kind of updates.
Okay, I'm looking at it too, and I know sometimes, because I've worked with this traffic system before, and depending on the largeness, the population of the road itself, you know, as far as traffic counts and such, you might not be able to get as accurate of a count through that system. So we'll, I think, probably just as I look at these two maps here, and one of them is off camera, folks, obviously, for you guys, but we'll probably just stick here with the Google one for now, just because that is showing us more of the delay. And it does look like, you know, the southbound direction is starting to get a little bit more jammed, just a touch.
Yeah.
I believe it is from what I can see.
And you can see, just like you were saying, people trying to get off right around here. You can see that yellow getting into, what is that? Caps Hill Mine Road.
The Caps Hill Mine Road, that's the one that's kind of going perpendicular, almost west to east. So that traffic, just kind of keep in mind, the one that's heading towards Beatties Ford Road, that's starting to slow down, indicating folks who are maybe trying to make a turn off that road are either seeing the scene just to the north of them, or they're trying to turn and they can't because traffic is backing up if they're trying to turn north. You know, as far as, you know, traffic we're seeing north and south of that intersection, it looks pretty good as far as, you know, it's in the green, we can see that. And for the most part, the folks who are traveling north of the scene seem to be in the clear for now. But, you know, I would say as far as workarounds, I would primarily be concerned with folks coming southbound on Beatties Ford Road, heading towards the intersection of Slater Road. And I wouldn't want folks really to go any farther south than Sunset Road, which is north. It's kind of out of frame here on this map, but I would say if you go past Sunset Road, you run the risk of running into any potential roadblocks. So there you can see, now that we've zoomed out a bit more, Sunset Road is running perpendicular to Beatties Ford Road. I would say probably turn off at least there. If you go any further, you see you get stuck. You know, there are not a lot of places to turn around, and then before you know it, you've run into that scene. Yeah,
and I think it's worth noting, I mean, we don't know how regularly this map gets updated, and this happened, like Vanessa said earlier, I mean, we are minutes after this happened. I mean, this is within the last 10, 15 minutes. So it's very, very likely that as the traffic picks up, and anybody who's driven in Charlotte at this time knows that the traffic is picking up right now between school pickup and people leaving the office, especially as the week winds down. There is a very reasonable expectation that this red is really, like you said, going to go all the way up to Sunset Road. I mean, this is not going to be pretty. I'm seeing reports on Twitter, so I want to say explicitly here, I'm seeing these reports on Twitter, but what Twitter is saying right now, and I've seen multiple reports, so I feel comfortable sharing this information.
What's the account?
It's the Charlotte traffic guy.
Okay.
Who does things. So this has not been confirmed, but we have seen multiple reports. It looks like a bus of some sort may have gone off into the woods. We pulled up that camera of what it looks like, and I can bring you down in here. We do know that there are woods in this area, this big green area. That is all we're seeing. Again, this is all this is what we're hearing. We're telling you guys our process to be transparent. We see lots of different kinds of reports all throughout the day, all throughout the hours. We generally, on a more traditional newscast, would not share that with you guys until we have it confirmed by CMPD, by Medic, by whoever owns this bus. We still don't know what kind of bus it was. But I'm telling you guys right now that we are in the process of confirming whether or not that is true, and we will have the ability to tell you, oh, we're actually hearing this, this, and this. So that's what I am hearing. That's the process. We have reached out to all the different companies that have buses, trying to confirm what kind of bus it is, what happened. So we will get that information to you as soon as we possibly can.
Okay, so folks, once again, we'll just kind of address that with once, Jeb mentioned the caveat, none of that is officially confirmed. So we don't want to say that for sure, and we'll know probably in a couple minutes when our crew arrives whether that's the case or not. I think it is good that, Jeb, you pointed out we don't know what kind of bus it is.
Yeah.
And I know, you might have a thought in your mind, I'm immediately what comes to mind is this type of bus. And we've, obviously our community went through something pretty rough recently where we did deal with a school bus crash on 77 in Chester County not too long ago, and that 13-year-old boy who we lost, and the family just laid him to rest a couple of days back. But we don't know if that is indeed a school bus that we're hearing, with this particular situation, or if this was a different kind of bus, because, we do have transit buses around here. There could be, it could be a bus with, sometimes we see like church groups go on a bus. Sometimes we see teams use buses to travel from, if they do travel sports or anything like that. So we're not really sure, and we haven't heard anything either way of what kind of bus this could be.
Right.